Here's a question that's more radical than it sounds. Are there moral facts? Not moral opinions, not moral feelings, but facts. Truths about right and wrong that exist whether or not we agree with them. At first, that sounds obvious. Of course murder is wrong. Of course kindness is good. But the more philosophy you learn, the less it becomes obvious. Because if facts describe the world as it is, and morality describes how it ought to be, can moral facts even exist? To even begin, we need philosophy's full toolkit. Metaphysics asks, what is real? Is morality part of reality or just a construct? Epistemology asks what we know, if moral truths exist, and how do we know them? Ethics itself asks what we ought to do, and the philosophy of language reminds us that how we speak about morality shapes how we understand it. Wittgenstein once said, "The limits of my language means the limits of my world." So maybe moral facts depend on the limits or the reach of our language. So when we ask if moral facts exist, we're really asking, is morality discovered in the world or created through human beings? The first split on this. Moral realists argue that moral truths are real, objective, and independent of us. Aristotle would be close to this camp. In Nicomachean Ethics, he believed that we can discover moral truth through phronesis, practical wisdom. For him, morality wasn't an opinion, it was an insight, a knowledge of how to live well. But anti-realists like Ayer disagree. In the 20th century, he argued that moral statements are not facts, they are expressions. Saying murder is wrong doesn't describe anything in the world. It's more like saying, boo, murder. This is called emotivism, and it forces us to ask, if moral claims can't be verified by specific ones, are they still true in any meaningful sense? Philosophy of language depends on the puzzle. Words like justice, wrong, and good don't just describe, they prescribe. They are performative, saying this is wrong also means don't do this. Michel Foucault would argue that moral truths are entangled with power. Whoever holds authority defines what counts as moral. But that doesn't mean morality is fake. It means it's constructed through discourse, through how people speak, reason, and govern. That is why to know is to be aware not only of the facts, but of the forces that frame and filter them. If knowledge depends on both truth and virtue, then moral facts are not static objects we find, they're virtues we cultivate. They emerge when reason and empathy align under just conditions. So let's come back to our question. Are there moral facts? Yes, but not in the same way physical facts exist. They don't sit out there in the universe waiting to be measured. Instead, moral facts exist as relational truth, grounded in the structure of human reason, emotion, and interdependence. When we say cruelty is wrong, we're not describing a property of atoms. We're describing a truth about conscious beings being capable of harm and empathy. It's not a hard science fact, but an epistemic one, justified by what reason and compassion reveal to be universally binding. As Foucault warned, it lives in how we negotiate power through discourse. So moral facts aren't cosmic, they're contextual but real, found in our shared human capacity to recognize suffering, justice, and goodness. Philosophy teaches us that facts describe what is, but morally challenges us with what ought to be. And maybe that's a deeper truth. Moral facts don't exist in our world like stones or stars. They exist in our discourse, our conscience, and our capacity to reason beyond self-interest. So yes, there are moral facts, not as immutable as the laws of physics, but as enduring truths of the human condition. Truths that bind us, guides us, and makes wisdom possible.